In healthcare, the experience of the patient is the new marketing. My name is Ruben, Coach Ru of Filipinos in Productions, here with
Nikki Loquez, the owner of Isa Health Solutions. How are you guys?
welcome to Freedom Friday Live.
Filipino, 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 Filipino. Hoy pare, pakinggan niyo ako. Ito ng tunay na Pilipino. Galing sa baryo sa pambato. Pumunta ng LA, nagtrabaho.
Oh, Nikki, we're doing it again. It's been a long time. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm always happy to be here, Ruben. Anytime.
If this is your first time tuning into Freedom Friday Live, my name is Ruben Austria, Coach Ru of Filipinos in Productions. Freedom Friday Live is a live production that we put on weekly, every Friday, produced by Filipinos in Productions with the purpose of inspiring, educating, and empowering Filipino Americans to be their best selves, right? To live a life of freedom. Nikki, I know that you're always busy doing your own thing, creating, building business. But I mean, I say this all the time, and honestly, uh, I can't stop from saying it. But it's unbelievable that 85% of people don't enjoy what they do, right? So when we talk about Freedom Friday Live, the whole point is, bringing people on like yourself who are, working to make it happen, right? Putting in that grind, chasing their dreams. Um, what does this quote mean to you? Because I know that you're in healthcare and you probably understand that things are changing. Like, what does it mean when it says the experience of the patient is the new marketing?
So, believe it or not, my whole process measure is designed off that idea. So it's under a high reliability process measure where we look at things in a justified way, and we do this constantly, no matter if it's the best service we provide or if it's a bad service that we provide. We we put it into something called a root cause analysis and see how we can even improve from a satisfactory survey to an unsatisfactory survey. So, meaning that the company is designed to always review its performance improvement. So again, it our service is nursing. Our service is caring. We can't Caring is not like a one set rule, and it's tailored to everybody that it services. So it's a little bit hard to do that when your product is not like shampoo. Like, you know what I mean? So it is the feedback of the patient and their experience with that feedback. So again, nursing is so complex that we have psych patients, we have medical patients that when people are sick, they sometimes review or view things poorly or negatively just because they're in a sick role, and nurses or people's caretakers response or handling of that makes a difference.
Yeah.
So again, that's always into my metrics as a company, because it's important in healthcare. So,
Yeah, 100%. And nowadays, I mean, I don't care what business you're in, but especially healthcare, right? Like, I can remember growing up, right, and going to doctors and just being given, you know, especially doctors with really bad or nurses with bad bedside manner, and just like, you know what I mean? Like just making just doing the thing, but not really making you feel good about them doing the thing. And nowadays, man, there's just it seems as if there's just so many different options. You know what I mean on how to relieve, you know, you know, just take care of whatever you're dealing with. You know what I mean? That like, I mean, if the experience ain't good, I mean, you got to go somewhere else, right? And so just the transition into today's show. I mean, when we talk about the future of healthcare, I had to invite my brother from another mother, and I always say this because my my brother's name is Oliver. He has my last name, and there's just so many coincidences, when it comes to Dr. Oliver Austria. But the whole point of today is to really, gain the perspective of Dr. Austria, have him share the stories that he has gone through, the challenges, obstacles, and really provide some inspiration for future generations. Right, Nikki? I know you know what that's about. You have children, right? I'm sure you're probably on the same path, trying to do that. But this is one thing that I can say about Dr. Austria, and I'm not saying this because he shares my last name. It's just that, man, I see him posting on social media. Most of what he posts is about his family. You know what I mean? So it's amazing, and what he's doing. It almost made sense. It was too obvious to have him, because what we're trying to do with the future of work, and I'll talk about that in a moment, he's already embodied into his life and his practice. So it's going to be truly an amazing conversation, and I'm excited about it. Are you, Nikki?
All the time. I love Dr. Austria. So I love watching him. So I'm happy to interview him today.
All right. Amazing. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to start by introducing what Filipinos in Productions is, and I can't introduce Filipinos in Productions without introducing my producer, Emerson Pesete. Emerson, how are
Happy Friday.
you? All right. We're gonna have to get you a camera soon, so everyone knows what you look like, Emerson. But
And a green screen.
it's all good. Everyone,
like that.
yeah.
I'm an AI.
You're not an AI. You're not an AI. Well, Emerson, let's tell everyone what Filipinos in Production is all about, what we're trying to do.
So Filipinos in Productions, we are on a mission to creating this platform that helps not only local leaders, but Filipino-American business owners to collaborate, connect, and create new business opportunities, and hopefully showcase your brand to not only nationwide, internationally, but hopefully globally.
Yeah, we're going for that. One of the things that I can share with everybody, and I can say this because we've had Earl Valencia, who is the executive of innovation. I forgot his exact title, of the Philippines, say that the Filipino-American brand is not something that's a network connecting the Filipino-American brand is not something that already exists in the United States. There's a lot of organizations that connect Filipinos together, but there's not an organization like what we're working to create that connects Filipino-American brands together. So,
Right.
Nikki, you could be found by someone who might be doing the same type of business as you in California, and then you can connect with that person such that you guys can create new things and ideas, or maybe even share resources, or even, work together, whatever it might be. I mean, it's amazing that something like that does not exist, and that's the hole that we're working to fill. This is the 5th installment of the Future of Work Speaker Series. If you have not been privy to what we've already been putting out there, but the Future of Work Speaker Series, simply put, it's been a series of 6 speakers, each in different industries, sharing their story, sharing their triumphs, their tribulations, sharing what they had to go through to become who they are today. And we do that, and we share that with the hope that there are many people following in the footsteps of those who might have already done it, and then create the possibility for that to happen for anyone else. So we're almost done with our speaker series. We have one more left, music and entertainment, which is going to be interesting. It'll be a new industry we're introducing, but we're looking forward to it. So with that said, Emerson, are we ready to go? We're ready to make this happen? Are we ready to make this happen, Nikki?
All the time.
Let's get the show on the road, guys.
Let's get the show on the road.
Joining us today live on a special guest.
Okay. Well, again, if this is your first time tuning into Freedom Friday Live, my name is Coach Rue. The whole idea of Filipinos in Productions is to create influencers out of Filipino American businesses who are working to promote their business by empowering, inspiring, and educating others. We want to be the platform that allows for that to happen. Through this platform, we've had so many different voices, so many different industries represented, and we're just proud that we're able to be that vehicle that allows that to happen. So that happens simply because I have created what I like to call live community networking. So the whole point of live community networking, I don't think anyone here is a stranger to live streamed video. But the difference with live community networking as it pertains to what we're doing here is that we're using a live stream video to create a real conversation that I think a lot of people don't have. Too much of social media right now is seeing what someone posts. It could have been today, it could have been last week, could have been last year, right? But it's not something that's happening right now. And I feel with live community networking, what we've been able to do is connect people at the same time to have conversations so that they're talking to each other and it's a real conversation. No curating of the content, so to speak. It's really just a conversation about something important. And today we're going to be talking about the future of healthcare with Dr. Oliver Austria. So with that said, I want my co-host, Nikki Loquez, to introduce herself. Nikki, thank you so much again for being a co-host. It's been way too long since you've been back, but I am happy to have you. Please reintroduce yourself and ISA Health Solutions.
So I am Nikki Loquez. I am the owner of ISA Health Solutions. I am also the owner of ISA BPO in Cavite, Philippines. So Dr. Austria is from Cavite, and it was going to be a great conversation. But ISA is a staffing agency and pending a visiting nurse agency. I'm in the process of accrediting ISA to be a visiting nurse agency. So right now, my main service line is staffing. So we've been around for the last, I think, 2 years now. In the last year is when I really escalated or, scaled up the company. We have some solid process measures, so that's why it took me so long to create those policies and procedures for the company. But yeah, I'm here. I'm in Quincy. Freedom Friday. I am feeling free, and this is my dream come true right now. So,
wow, wow, dream come true, man. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, Nikki. My goodness. Well, no, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad. This freedom doesn't come without hard work, right? Absolutely not. So, I feel like it's important to say that because you know what, we can talk, we can be up here all we want, trying to make it look or we're not trying by any means. And I'm not trying to make it look easy by any means. Sometimes I'm just I'm just happy that I got up the next day. But some days that you have to deal with, you know what I mean? So it's certainly not easy. But yes, I can agree with you. The fact that we're here, we're able to do this and contribute to others, that's the whole point, right, Nikki? Yeah. So wow, I'm super excited. I really want to introduce or reintroduce Dr. Oliver Austria from Radiant Dentistry in Woburn. So Dr. Austria, welcome to Freedom Friday Live.
Hello, mabuhay.
Mabuhay. All right. Well, hey, I almost forgot Filipino Independence Day was yesterday.
Yes.
So it should be said. And you're the first Filipino influencer since Filipino Independence Day this year.
Right.
Dr. Austria, please introduce yourself and your business, and we'll start the conversation.
Hello, mabuhay. Kamusta po? My name is Dr. Oliver Austria. I'm a dentist by profession. and I'm honored to share my journey as a Filipino dentist who dared to dream beyond borders.
Mm, 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 mm. Well, you know what? I like this. I like the ability for you to be succinct and not, not really talk about anything else. But hey, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with prioritizing the dream.
Yeah.
Prioritizing that. So, you know what? Let's get started off with the conversation because I think everyone wants to know. Everyone is curious, Dr.
Mhm.
Austria.
Mhm.
Um, and really the way that we start this conversation is discussion of the past,
Okay.
discussion of the past. So first thing I want to ask you is because I think a lot of people who might be watching, and if you are watching, please comment, ask any questions. uh Dr. Austria is very nice, and he is he's very willing to help. So if you're specifically in the healthcare industry and you're trying to make a breakthrough, this is your opportunity. So please comment. But the first question we want to ask you, Oliver, is that so much about being entrepreneurial and doing something that you never have done before.
Mhm.
Um, it takes understanding your mindset, right? It takes understanding, where you were at that point. So what was your mindset prior to along the path, or maybe even when you decided that you wanted to be a dentist, right? Where were you at? Like what were you thinking before the wheels started to roll and things started to churn for you?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit of background of my life when I was in the Philippines. So I went to dental school. I earned my Doctor of Dental Medicine degree back in 2000 from Central Escolar University, College of Dentistry in Manila, Philippines. Right after graduation, I began my dental practice in Quezon City and also in Cavite, in which I served the local community for 6 months before I decided to migrate to the United States. Me moving to the United States, I was like hesitant. I know it's impossible. That's my thought process at that time. That for me to go to dental school because it's very, very competitive. There's a lot of foreign trained dentists that move to the U.S. and basically they have the same goal as I am, but I don't know the path at that time,
Mm,
and it was hard. I mean, you have to go through a long process of recredentialing, taking the board exams and all that, and it's very difficult, especially for somebody that just moved here without having all the resources, no connections or anything, and then juggling your time working and building a family. So yeah, and to answer your question about for me, I kind of felt like I have to pursue something. I know a lot of Filipino that migrated to the U.S. They started with something different, maybe a change of career and all that. But for me, I'm always driven in a sense that I want to be a dentist. I want to
mm,
do my dental career, and I started the process. I took the board exam, and I was able to, credential myself, apply to all the dental school. And luckily, I got accepted to Tufts University School of Dental Medicine, prestigious school, I would say. And yeah, so that's how it all started. And now I own my dental practice.
well, let's slow down really quick because you said the word, actually you said the word impossible,
In,
right? Right, you
yeah,
thought it was impossible. So just give me an idea, right? So when you think, say, impossible, how many? I mean, doesn't have to be Filipinos. Maybe it's just
oh, oh,
dentists who come from different countries that want to recertify in the U.S.
you
Like
know,
out of 100 dentists that may want to do that, what are the odds, or what are the statistics in terms of you know?
I love to answer this question. It's a very good question. You know why? Because it's, as I mentioned, it's very competitive. A lot of foreign trained dentists, majority are from India, Pakistan. They were already trained when they were in dental school in India, or even them growing up in the United States or Canada, they go to their country to study, but their main goal is to go back to the United States and practice here. So they know the process, and they train themselves to take that board exam and to do all those credentialing and all that. For Filipinos, the main factor I would say that they are hesitant to do it is because of cost of education here. It's very expensive, and also, for some reason, us, we don't get accepted much to the program. Maybe I can be misquoted about this, but you just, because it's so competitive that,
Mm.
I would say 3% or maybe less than 3% of Filipino dentists that have tried that were able to achieve that goal.
Mm. Mm. 3%.
Uh,
That's yeah, that seems very discouraging. The-
mhm. And if you can check with a lot of dental school that offers a program for international dentists, we're lucky to find there's one or two Filipino dentists in their program, and most of the time it's zero.
Do you feel like it's because we are part of the Asian? Ideally, have you ever heard of affirmative action?
Yes,
Do you think that influences our admission rate?
I would say yes, because I don't know, maybe the mindset of us Filipinos is we want to make or earn money right away. Why? Because our main goal is to help our family back home
Mm. Hmm.
instantly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. Well, let's take a quick break in the action. It looks like Miss Karen Abarca is watching, the one and only Dr. Oliver
Hey,
Austria.
my friend.
Karen's just such a huge supporter. Love you, Karen. Please ask any questions that you might not already know about our amazing Dr. Austria here. Please, it's very much welcome. And then we have Mr. June Valencia. June was the speaker for the Future of Art, Photography, and Fashion show that we had. So really appreciate you, June. Ask any questions that you might have from a fellow entrepreneur to another one. So please, and Karen as well. So please ask any questions. So Nikki, why don't you ask a question for Dr. Austria? I know that's kind of lined up for you, but you know what? I'll definitely want to get you in there.
So, Dr. Ashtia, I have a million questions for you. So, one thing that I'm neurotic about is my teeth. I
Oh,
don't like cavities. I've not ever had braces.
all
So
right.
I'm particular about eating food that is hot and cold. I will put ice in soup before I eat it because I don't want it to be too hot, and drink something cold because I'm afraid it will break my enamel.
All
Is that
right.
true?
We're going clinical here, huh?
Oh, we're going clinical.
I
Oh no,
know.
yeah.
Am I
Oh,
being
we gotta
neurotic?
save those questions for later, Nikki. I'm talking about the questions that we're.
Oh, we're talking. Oh, I'm sorry about that. All right. So, I mean, there's a few questions for you. Um,
What are
Ruben,
the main?
where's the questions here?
It's in the private chat.
Okay. So, what was your old belief or mindset about entrepreneurship?
I it's okay. It's okay. Nikki. I already asked that one. The next
Oh,
one.
okay. So, what were the main obstacles or challenges you faced? I think you elaborated.
Being an owner or being a family man, which one?
Um, you know what? How about
Oh,
all
well,
of
on the come up, on the come
Oh,
up, right? Like you know.
uh, well, I mean, I don't have any personal training in regards to be, being an entrepreneur. So I dive into this entrepreneurship of being a practice owner without knowing anything. I'll say I learn as I go. Why? Because for me, I kind of feel like I already achieved uh, my my main goal at the time to be a dentist here in the U.S. I kind of feel like what is next for me? I already achieved whatever I needed to achieve at that time, but I want to make sure that I'll stay inspirational for my kids. If there are other people there that will be inspired to for all the stuff that I do, it's a gift for me. And I kind of feel like I have to make sure that I create a legacy for my children, and that's why I started this, ventured into practice ownership.
Mm, hmm. Well, so okay, so let me just make sure I get this right. So you're practicing already in the Philippines. Your
Yes,
main goal was to not only to well, the first goal was to become a dentist in the USA, right? And then you stepped it up from there to own
to own
after. And
after
let's
five
just
years,
yeah,
4 years
let's yeah,
graduation.
let's just take that like what was the point? And this is important because I think this is it's amazing because you felt like you wanted to be one place and then you went further, right? You certified yourself to be a dentist in the States, and now and but you didn't necessarily want to own a dentist office, but the first goal was to be a dentist, right?
Correct.
So at what point did you say to yourself, well, hey, man, this is not enough. This is not going to be enough. As much as I thought this was going to be enough, it's just not enough. I mean, like a lot of people who are watching this or gonna watch this may have felt the same way. Like, oh, hey, I thought this was gonna be enough, but it's not enough. But maybe I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm too old or I'm too, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? I've already put in too much work. What allowed you to kind of like break through that thinking? Because that's a lot of people think that. Like, I feel like, oh, hey, I've had enough success, even though you want more. Like, what made you go for more when you feel like when it would have been justified that you didn't, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
When I was working as an associate to successful dental practices, I kind of felt like I was should I say I felt like stagnant in a sense that I was happy that I was making money. I was like making really good money, but I kind of didn't find joy to it after a
Mm,
certain point, 2 years, 3 years. I always questioned myself, what could have been if I am an owner of a practice here, that I have my name attached to that practice or to that brand. And for me, the mindset there is for me to pass along to my children, one of them hopefully, that practice. So that's the mindset for me. I want to create a legacy for them that they can take over when I decided to retire.
got it. So that's the current mindset is just creating the legacy, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
why is that so? I mean, obviously, for other than the obvious reasons, why is that so important to you? Because there's a lot of people that have children that don't that wouldn't sacrifice even more, as you did. Um, I mean, first off, I just love that about you because that's something that you and I share. It's like it's all about the legacy.
Mm-hmm.
But why? But because again, I can ask myself the same question, but I feel like I want to hear from you. Like, why is it so important to you?
Why? I mean, I'm an immigrant from the Philippines. Everyone's dream is to be somebody here. When I moved to the US, I was working as uh, I cut onions, uh, put bread in the oven at Legal Seafoods. That was my first job. For me, I always look back where I was, and I don't want any of my kids to be in that situation. So why I wanted to have that practice and for me to pass along, of course, to pass along to my children. We talk about generational wealth. For me, it's not just about generational wealth. I want to make sure that my kids will carry the lasting legacy. I always mention about legacy and all that. Just I want to carry my name. I want my kids to carry the name Austria or whatever brand that I'm creating. That's all.
Mm, mm, I
That's
love it. Said it with so much emotion too, man. I love it. I love it. Nikki, next question. It's your turn.
Yeah, can I ask Dr. Ashia some clinical questions here? Or are we still in the?
No, we're still. Let's just get through the past, present, future. So, and then we can go asking in the live Q&A.
All right, sounds good. So, Dr. Austria, what do you do now to continue growing your brand or business?
Okay. Yeah, I take a lot of continuing education courses, like world-renowned speakers and educators. I travel to Seattle to attend those courses that we call it the Kois Tribe, Koi Center. A few things, and also I was credentialed to be part a fellow of Academy of General Dentistry, and also the academy. I'm still waiting. Hopefully, I'll get the fellowship from the Academy of American Academy of Implant Dentistry. So I take a lot of continuing education courses. I'm not just like a fly-by dentist that will, that after you graduate, that's it. No, I want to make sure that I'll be stay up to date to whatever trends and knowledge is out there that I have to learn, so that I can share. I mean, practice that and provide that to my patients. In the
Mhm. Amazing. Yeah, continuing education. That's why we're here. We're trying to get people to learn, for people
we
to
have to. Our
right.
diploma is not it.
It's 100%,
Yeah.
100%. I completely get it. Yeah, no, I think continuing education, I think that's the way that anybody can grow their business and brand. And before we continue, just want to pay homage to the live comments here. Nikki, you have a fan. Bernadette says hello on the
All right,
comments.
we still need to go out, Bernadette.
Hello, hello. Nancy is tuning in. She had made a comment about what previously said. She says, I think it's hard to be an entrepreneur if you divert from your profession. I graduated medicine in the Philippines, work as a nurse here, and been into insurance business, but not full time. So yeah, it is certainly possible, Nancy, but hey, everyone has a different path, right, doctor? Uh,
Yes.
it's nothing wrong with that, and congrats to you, Nancy. And she also says, "Sorry, I'm late. Where do you practice, Doctor Austria?" So, the Radiant Dentistry is in Woburn,
In Woburn, Massachusetts, northwest of Boston.
northwest of Boston. Nancy, if you need a dentist, highly recommend Doctor Austria. Probably has a lot to talk about while he has your instruments in your mouth. Okay, let's just get back to the question. So again, we're getting at we've talked about the past, we talked about the present. Now let's talk about the future. Oliver, what kind of trends do you see in healthcare, um, and what are you doing about those trends as it relates to you and your business and how you approach the day-to-day, or maybe even planning?
There's quite a few trends that are out there right now. Of course, we all know about AI, and also marketing. Marketing is not just a word of mouth right now. You cannot just rely on word of mouth. You have to make sure that you have your online presence, SEO, digital marketing, Facebook marketing, all social media. It's key for us to be successful and for us to thrive, and for our brand to reach the patients or potential patients.
Hmm. Hmm. So digital trends,
Digital trends. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. AI,
Influencing
of course.
AI, of course. I'm sure that's made your job a little bit easier,
A
right?
lot, yeah, but AI will not replace dentists. That's for sure.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want a robot in my with those drills in my mouth. That's certainly not something that I would
Mhm.
look forward to. Um, and you know what? This might not be the last time we mention this question, but Nikki, you can just follow up with the last question now before we go to live Q&A.
So,
Uh,
what would you give other entrepreneurs?
as far as advice.
As far as advice, just like what Ruben always say, let's make it happen. We have to make it happen. There's no other way. It's not easy being a business owner. You're the CEO. You're everything. I'm the janitor on the weekend. I train my kids to clean the office, shred papers, and all that. We wear many hats. We just have to do it. That's all. For us to for us to really, if we really want to achieve that dream, that goal, you have to do it. There's no other way.
Let's dig into that a little further, because as much as I like the simplicity of the answer,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily that simple.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um, I I'm a big believer that technology is really just about giving us tools. I feel like we have way more tools. I have way more tools than my father did when he was an entrepreneur, right? And I'm sure he had more tools than his father, right? When he was growing up. How do you how do you have a conversation with a younger generation, maybe Gen Z type of, you know, Filipino, Filipino American, when you say make it happen, and they're like, how? Or maybe they're thinking like, no, that's not possible, or you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that's the kind of, rather than, I mean, when I hear make it happen, I get pumped up, right? I get I get excited. Nikki, I think you get excited too, right? Let's make it happen, right? But for people who are not accustomed to, I mean, I would say maybe building things, creating things, because I think that's what it means to be an entrepreneur, right?
yeah. We have to stay inspirational to them.
Yeah. How do you do it? Yeah. I mean, so let's talk about
Me, I always talk to them about like my personal experience, where I came from, and share with them that yeah, I went through a lot of struggles, a lot of I'm not saying depression and whatnot, but anxiety in terms of moving to the United States. And I tell them that I was not making money at that time, but not bragging about, but look what I have now. A majority of the circle of friends that I have come to my house, and I share with them my life story.
it. Hmm.
I don't have to, give them pep talk or whatnot. They can see who I was. They know who I was and what I have become since then.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's more like, not just talking, but
Not
letting them letting them into your life, letting them see what you created.
just
So
just just like what you mentioned to me in the introduction, that you saw my post on social media, whatever. I post about my kids. For me, I don't have to say too much about anything. Every My life is an open book to everyone. They know who I hang out with. Majority of the time is my kids. That's who I am. That's all. I teach them, I show them how to cut grass, how to clean the house. We don't have a servant. There's no need.
right,
We are the servants of ourselves. That's all.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, without necessarily putting words in your mouth,
Yeah.
Dr. Austria, I think it's just about saying it and then doing it.
Doing it. Yeah.
You know, right? So it's one thing to tell your kids or even your employees, how to do something, but showing them the right way, it's completely different. Completely different. So
I was trained like that back home. No, no. You just watch them how they do it. You just watch your uncles, your aunts, your grandma, how they cook, how they clean the house, how they wash their laundries and all that. That's it. There's no direct instruction on how to do things growing up in the Philippines. No, they'll
yeah,
just give you the walis, whatever, and they'll do it.
give them the willies, or else you can get the slipper.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, man, uh, Dr. Austria, really excited. So we got through, the whole point of, thank you so much for providing that insight into your past, present, and future. We're gonna open up the floodgates and let some questions come in, including some questions Nikki might have for you. But let's transition right now. Alrighty. So if this is your first time tuning into Freedom Friday Live, big part of our show is the live Q&A. If you have any questions, please post them. This is your opportunity to talk right alongside Dr. Austria, like where me and Nikki are doing. It's a lot of fun. We'll make sure that we get to your question, and yeah, would love to entertain any questions you might have. So, first question we're going to bring up. Well, it's not the first question because Nancy did ask where your office was. Um, I want to bring up a question from Mrs. Bernadette Yaga. So Bernadette says, "Do you agree that you should let a manager do the management part to be more successful?" So let me see. I think maybe this, maybe I'm not exactly sure the context of the question that Bernadette asked, but maybe it's a difference between being an owner and then letting the manager manage your business, as opposed to being an owner and managing yourself. So, what do you say? Dr. Austria?
Thank you for the question, Bernadette. You have a beautiful name, but that's my wife's name as well. Uh, yes, letting the manager manage the practice. Of course, it's very important for me to have my manager manage the practice. I want to focus on the clinical dentistry aspect. I don't want to think about, okay, how to submit stuff to the insurance company, how to fight a claim, and all that. It has to be done by the management, by the front desk people, not the clinical doctor. The clinical doctor has to focus on treating patients. Yes, I am the CEO of the practice. I have to make sure that I oversee the operations of the practice, but I should have my manager, my front desk personnel directing everything for me to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
should not be me. It should not be the dentist.
Right. Understood. Understood. Yeah. One of the things that I think is really challenging. I mean, I'm not in healthcare, right? I'm more of finance and real estate. Uh, I can really see and respect the fact that in healthcare, you have someone who's not just the expert, but also a licensed expert, and he spent many years in school doing that thing. So that you don't want that person necessarily doing the management or the paperwork, or you know taking out the trash if you can help it, right? Like, I mean, during the day to day, right? You want to focus on what you need to focus on, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
it's great that you say that, because a lot of the things that Filipinos in Productions hopes to take care of for a lot of entrepreneurs is that they spend so much time marketing, spend so much time like on social media, spend so much time curating content. When what we're really trying to offer here in Filipinos in Productions is, hey, let's just share your story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come up here, you
Mhm.
know, answer some real questions, talk about some have some real conversations, and let them see you as you and be authentic. So I can completely understand that. Nikki, can you take that question as well? I know it's different. I know it's hard as someone who's in healthcare. You're a little bit different part of healthcare, but can you kind of speak to that whole management and
So,
ownership part?
yeah, so healthcare, there's only one language, guys. It's called quality. Your
Mhm.
quality metrics defines you as a healthcare institution. So every hospital, it's one we have to work at a standard, and
Mhm.
everybody has to follow a standards. We can't deviate like engineers or financiers like that. We can't be that creative with healthcare because we have to work within a standard. It's the strategies in those standards that what allows us to grow or scale. If you can come up with strategies that keeps you within the standards, within the compliance of participation, you're good.
Mhm.
So what I recognize in healthcare is really the only way to do that is to really follow through with something called quality assurance performance improvement. If
Mhm.
you can continuously do that like a Toyota, your scalability is really high because again, it's your patience or your ability to provide care of any kind that really dictates your performance. It's not like a material or e-commerce where it's a product and it's just attractive to a lot of people and people start emotionally buying. In healthcare, people are emotionally buying.
Yeah.
You,
100%.
you don't have to sell it. You know what I mean? You just have to prove that you can be the best care provider.
100%.
And if I may add, Ruben and Nikki,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, being a dental practice owner and being a dentist, you have to learn. Even though you own the business, you have to learn to delegate the task. Yes, you own the practice, you own the business, but you cannot be the manager and manage every single one, calling the uniform company or calling the insurances to fight a claim or to submit a claim. No, it has to be delegated for you to be efficient, so, and for you to provide the right care, the quality care for that your patients deserve.
100%. 100%. We have another question coming in as well. I might as well leave it up there for you. As a tough educated dentist and mission driven practitioner, how are you integrating cutting edge technologies like clear aligners and dental implants to shape patient centered care?
Yeah. I I have all the technologies, all the tools, the cone beam CT X-rays or intraoral scanners. It made my life efficient, utilizing AI tools, of course. Um, uh, uh, Treatment planning, using those tools, the technology, creating smile designs through online platform, with actually there's a company that is based in Canada, but most of their staff are Filipinos. They're doing the smile design. I'm not
Mm,
going to mention the name of it, but yeah. So yeah, and I do that. I have that in the practice because we have to stay up to date to the technology, or else your neighboring dental offices out there will take over your patients or your patient base.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We just have one follow up question from Bernadette. Do you get a lot of compliance issues?
Well, I make sure that I follow all the OSHA HIPAA compliance, and I recently had the my evaluator, and I can say that I don't have any compliance issues.
Yeah, you haven't been shut down, right? So you're good.
No, no.
All right. Well, we have a question for ISA Health Solutions. So bringing up the question. ISA Health Solutions provides in-home healthcare staffing. How do you maintain quality and compassion at scale? Really good question, especially in a home setting.
Mhm.
So unlike an inpatient setting, home care is not controlled. So the controls for it is not like it is in a nursing home or in a hospital where it's very tight controls. In the community, it's not controlled. So there's a lot of variation. We what do I put this, like infection control? It's hard to do that in the community because you can't tell people how to take care of their house. You know what I mean? Like you have to work with the difference. So what you do to scale, again, you have to, your service line is caring. That is your product. It's really competencies for your service line. Your nurses' competencies are so important in nursing when you're selling nursing and caring, that it makes a difference because their competency, and we stick by a standard, their competency, and they teach that to a patient. That patient's competency in what they're supposed to do for themselves at home makes a difference in how you perform, how your agency looks. So take a person with diabetes. If you took that patient on and he was diabetic and he was complex diabetic, his diabetes was all over the place. 3 months later, this patient's diabetic. His A1C went from 10 to 4. Now you have, like, it speaks volumes about the kind of service you provide as a home care agency. So that's what will scale you, because when he goes back to his doctor is going to be like, wow, look at what have you been doing differently. So the nurses' interactions with the doctor's offices, the patient's ability to teach the doctor about all the things he's been doing right, it's going to be like, your nurse did a good job, you know. So there you go, there goes your marketing plan. So
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, good. Yeah, no, thank you so much. Let's try to fit in one more question. Man, it's Dr. Austria is always getting a lot of questions. It's really great. Um, Considering your active roles in the ADA, MDS, and community outreach, what emerging trends or policies do you think will define the next decade in dental health? So
Uh,
asking about the future. asking about the future for sure.
Tough one. Well, there's a. I mean, there's a big debate. That's why it's kind of hard to answer that question. There's a lot of issues in the organization, so I will say I'm kind of not um, comfortable answering that question. There's a lot of things going on right now, especially here in Massachusetts. But uh,
Okay.
uh, no,
Okay, no, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, you know what? You reserve the right not to answer, and it's all good.
Can
Um,
I just ask Dr. Austria? I don't know what ADA and MDS means in the
oh,
dental world. What does that mean?
ADA is American Dental Association, and MDS is Massachusetts Dental Society.
I see.
But let me say one thing. Massachusetts Dental Society, they are actually open doors for a lot of foreign trained dentists for them to practice dental hygiene license here in Massachusetts. Actually, that's one of the trend right now that is happening because there's a shortage of hygienists across the country. So only Florida, I believe, is the only one that allows foreign trained dentists to practice the profession, but as a hygienist.
mm,
But you have to be credentialed. Here in Massachusetts, it is a law now that any foreign trained dentist, for as long as they follow all the credentialing guidelines, at least I believe 5 years of experience in their home country, they can, if they migrated here in the US, they can move to Massachusetts and take the licensure exams. They'll be able to be a hygienist here and continue their career.
mm,
So that's the trend that is happening.
So many things, so many things. Well, hey, I it's almost been an hour. We're gonna we're gonna have to take that as the last question. We'll hear one last. We'll have an opportunity to conversate and just add a few more thoughts before we end the show. But I really wanted to just let everybody know about the upcoming events that we might have. Well, we do have. First, our Future Work Speaker Series ends next week with the future of music and entertainment with Sarai Knowledge. Um, that is going to be a great show. Music and entertainment is not a industry that we've featured as of yet on this show, so that'll be a first for us. Um, July 1st. I know the doctor is coming to this event.
I'll be
Nikki, I hope you're going to be there as well. We're going to meet in person for the first time, but I am excited about this July 1st mixer. We've had some delay on details only because the venue, we had some issues with the venue, but those issues have been resolved. So if you're a Filipino-American, and you've been watching Freedom Friday Live, and you see Nikki, you see Dr. Austria, and you say, hey, I want to meet them in person. Well, hey, this is going to be that opportunity, because our mission is not just to connect people virtually. It is to connect people in their community. So that, because that is, after all, the best way to meet people is in person. So that's what we're trying to facilitate for July 1st. Before we close out and say thank you, we always finish off with our takeaways. So as much as we could probably have another hour of conversation with Dr. Austria, your time is super valuable, but I want to just give you the opportunity to leave a final parting thought with the viewers, anyone that might be watching, anyone that might be watching the recording at some point. What is it that you want them to know, that you already haven't said, and leave with them, for them to think about?
Yes. So thank you. My story is not unique, but it's uniquely Filipino,
Mm.
grounded in family. I always mention about family, fueled by grit, guided by faith in something bigger than myself. I hope my journey reminds others that no dream is too distant and no goal is too great when you carry your heritage, us being Filipino, with pride, and your purpose with humility. So I'm trying to reach out also to any Filipino dentists in Massachusetts, in the New England area, or maybe out there in the whole United States. If you need guidance, you can reach out to me, and maybe I can give you a little tips, mentor you, so that you can also achieve this dream of being a dentist, being a dental professional here in the United States.
Mm,
Maybe you can get some inspiration from me, I would say,
mhm,
without
mhm.
pride. But
I
yeah,
mean, let me just ask. I know that was your
yeah.
parting thought, but there must have been someone that did that for you.
Actually, it's not a Filipino that did that to me. It's actually a professor at Tufts. She's Hispanic, from Venezuela, and she treated me like her son. He
Mm,
said, "Where have you been? You should have been practicing for many, many years. How come we never met?" And since then, I'm treating her like my second mother, and she's been mentoring me, and I want to make sure that I'll be able to pass that mentorship to Filipinos or whatever nationality out there that needed help, which I have been doing since I was able to achieve this goal of mine. So yeah, I want to make sure that there will be Filipino out there that is listening, Filipino dentists that is listening that may need some guidance.
all right. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's amazing. Nikki, do you want to just share some parting thoughts about what we our conversation today with Dr. Austria?
I thank you, Dr. Austria. I want to frame what you just said on my wall. That was extremely inspirational. I really appreciate that. It's true. I do believe that, you know, being a business owner and scaling and the risk taking personality, you have to remind yourself to stay humble. Um,
We have to,
yeah, so that's very important. No matter how much money you make, you have to,
yeah.
yeah, just stay humble. No matter how much
Mm,
you achieve, you have to stay humble. So
mm,
I really appreciate that statement you made there. Again, I want to just thank you, for being here on the show and allowing us to speak with you and, willing to help others is a really great thing. I know you're a busy guy. Doctors are not bored. so, so,
I'll be I'll be cutting the grass later on.
oh, there you go. Can you cut mine too? Yeah. No, but thank you so much for being here. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate it, Doctor. And yeah, we want to continue. We'll continue to just sing your praises and promote you to anyone that might be trying to follow in your footsteps. That's really what we're all about here at Filipinos in Productions. Educate, empower, and inspire those so that they can feel that freedom.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say goodbye right now, Dr. Austria. Please wait
Yeah.
for us in the backstage. Me and Nikki gotta close out the show, but thank you so much for being here.
Maraming salamat.
bye, guys.
Appreciate you. No, Nikki, don't go away yet. Nikki, oh my goodness. Just wanted to say thank you so much for co-hosting today. It's always amazing to have you, share your insights and as an entrepreneur, but also experiences as a business person. Doing the thing, and it's really important that, or at least for me, it's really important that we continue to do this so that we contribute. You know what I mean? Because that's really what it's all about. So I appreciate you. Just want to let you know, and it's been too long. Hopefully we'll see you again on Freedom Friday Live, and absolutely looking forward to breaking bread and enjoying July 1st and just having a good old time. So
Oh, it's
yeah.
July 1st, so you're gonna have to take a shot with me, 4th of July.
Well, hey, you know what? It's going to be a celebration. So make sure we do that, and we got to make sure we sing karaoke. I think
All
we'll see
right.
how we'll see how well Dr. Austria sings.
All right.
So again, thank you so much. This has been Freedom Friday Live. My name is Coach True from Filipinos in Productions. We're gonna play an industry health video about the health industry. Hopefully, you can join us on a future show. Take care, guys.
Health is a priority. yours, your families, and your community. No matter where you are, access to dedicated healthcare professionals can change lives. Filipino healthcare experts continue to uplift and care for communities across the globe, often going beyond the call of duty. At Filipinos in Production, we honor these heroes by giving them a platform to be seen, heard, and celebrated. We help expand their reach, amplify their voice, and connect them with those who need their expertise most. Because when healthcare thrives, our communities thrive with it. To get connected and feature your brand, call or text 781-399-5433 or email support@filipinosin.com.